Nissan Frontier SV, courtesy of Younger Nissan in Frederick, Maryland. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So today we are in this one because it was recently redesigned last year for the 2022 model year. It's going to be competing with the Toyota Tacoma, Honda Ridgeline, Ford Ranger, just to name a few. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so, since we are in the SV trim level today, there are a few different configurations for our particular trim level. You got the King Cab 4x2 starting at $31,890, Crew Cab 4x2 starting at $33,290, and lastly the Crew Cab Long Bed 4x4 starting at $39,120. And by the way, those first two configurations, the 4x2s, you can get that with four-wheel drive, of course. Just simply add approximately $3,000 to either of those prices. But regardless of the configuration that you go with, the power plant on the Frontier SV is going to be the same. Powering the beast is a 3.8 liter direct injected V6, putting out 310 horsepower at 6,400 RPM, 281 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 4,400 RPM, power sent to the rear wheels or all wheels through a 9-speed automatic, 0 to 60 time coming in at approximately 7.5 seconds, which actually is not too bad for a truck, I will say that. But MPG numbers then coming in at 18 in the city, 24 on the highway for the rear wheel drive, 17 city, 22 then on the highway for the four-wheel drive, taking regular unleaded fuel. And so now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put the Frontier here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2023 Frontier SV here up to speed. All right, looks like we got our straightaway here. Let's hit it. Huh. There's nothing wrong with that. That was plenty of an acceleration from merging onto the highway. Like I said, 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds. It's pretty darn good for a truck, and you can feel that. There is definitely plenty of pickup, no slipping whatsoever, even with all that power being sent to the rear wheels right now. So excellent acceleration for the Frontier without a doubt. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. So as expected, you will find four-wheel ventilated disc brakes coming standard. And actually, when it comes to the 60 to 0 stopping distance on the Frontier, get ready, you guys, 115 feet. So since there's no one behind us, I love it. Love the braking feel on the Frontier. So definitely not a soft braking feel, and surprisingly, as heavy as trucks in general are, instantly brings you to a stop in the Frontier. So 100% great braking feel here in the Frontier without a doubt. Then touching on suspension and handling, up front you're going to get an independent double wishbone type front suspension. In the back, overslung multi-leaf rear suspension. Front stabilizer bar comes standard, but if you were to go with the Crew Cab configurations, you will also get a rear stabilizer bar to go along with that. So overall, as far as ride quality goes, it's been perfectly fine actually in my short test drive here today. And honestly, Frederick doesn't have the best roads either, so yeah, ride quality's been perfectly fine. As far as steering feel goes, that's probably my favorite part of the Frontier. Such a heavy steering feel in this thing. I absolutely love it, especially at low speeds. It's a very heavy steering feel, but even at higher speeds, it just feels right for a truck. I'll just put it that way. I love the steering feel in this thing, because a lot of times, usually in SUVs, but sometimes in trucks, you will get kind of a loosey-goosey steering feel. So I don't know, I just love the steering feel in this thing. It instantly points you in the direction that you want to go, and I can't talk today. So anyways, as far as cabin noise goes, we're going 35 miles per hour right now. Not a whole lot of exterior wind noise or even road noise coming into the cabin, so that's perfectly fine as well. And touching on visibility, let me adjust my mirror. It looks like every other truck in the world. You can see perfectly fine out that rear view mirror, so definitely a big fan of that. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2023 Nissan Frontier SV. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2023 Nissan Frontier, finished in tactical green, in case you were curious of our exterior color name that we have on this one here today. So let's go ahead and get started with where this one is made. So taking a look at the VIN, the first character is the number 1, indicating that the Frontier is built and assembled in the US. So that is where this one is made, so that's pretty cool. But anyways, let's go ahead and start up front. Body colored front grille with a gloss metallic intersection That's of course what you guys are looking at, and that's what comes standard on the Frontier SV. You do actually have some steel front skid plates down below, and that's going to come standard as well. Front tow hooks can be had with the crew cab long bed configuration, and they are available otherwise as well. They're still wrapped in plastic. This thing is so new right now. Anyways, to the sides, halogen headlights do come standard. Of course, the automatic feature as well, meaning when it starts to get dark in at night, those headlights will turn on automatically for you there. Automatic high beams are going to be optional. So essentially what that is if you have your high beams on at night and the sense of the vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically then bounce it back up to high beams. So pretty cool feature there. And then LED daytime running lights are going to be optional on the Frontier SV then. But taking a look down below those headlights, you guys are going to see we actually do have fog lights as well. So again, coming with the crew cab, you're going to find some fog lights down there, and then LED fog lights are going to be optional. We got the halogens, of course, so we do not have that option, but didn't want to point that out. And then one of my favorite parts about the front end of this one, you actually have Frontier lettering, kind of the front portion of that hood there. So I definitely like the look of that as well. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the front end of the Frontier here. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of the Frontier, black window surrounds do come standard, rear privacy glass to go along with that, of course. Take a look at the side mirrors. They are body colored power adjustable side mirrors. You can get heated side mirrors. They are an option though for the Frontier SV. Of course, you can get the king cab or the crew cab configuration. In case you didn't notice already, we do have the crew cab setup, so we'll be testing out that rear legroom a little bit later in the video here. But then take a look down at the wheel setup. 17-inch 6-spoke aluminum alloys do come standard, and then running boards are going to be optional for the crew cab. We don't have them, and quite honestly, with the ride height of the Frontier, I didn't personally have any issues getting in and out of this one, so you really don't need them. But anyways, still want to mention it. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the side profile here. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back of this one, first thing I kind of want to mention is there's kind of an integrated tailgate spoiler. You guys can kind of see there's a little lip there, so thought that looked pretty cool. Wanted to mention that. Of course, Frontier lettering spelled out horizontally, etched into the tailgate itself yet again, just like the hood, so that's pretty cool. LED taillights actually do come standard across the board, so a little added illumination at night there. I like that as well. Then take a look at the tow hitch down here. Of course, that's available, and when it comes to the towing capacity, the max towing capacity for the Frontier SV is going to come in at 6,270 pounds, in case you were curious. But then of course, tucked away down below underneath the passenger side there, you will find a single exhaust outlet. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. Is always here is that exhaust clip. All right, so but now since we are around to the back of the Frontier, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, it actually is a dampened tailgate, so it's not going to come flying down all in 1 second on you. It is going to lower slowly, so I was a big fan of that. Once that tailgate is down, the overall bed length is going to come in at 73.3 inches, the bed width 61.4 inches, and then between the wheel wells, that's going to come in at 44.5 inches if you wanted the specs. As far as payload capacity goes, that's going to come in at 1,600 pounds then. But factory spray-on bed liner is going to be optional. We do have that, and I love that it's back there. 120 volt power outlet, again, going to be optional. We have that as well, so always like that. So you could charge up a circular saw or really anything back there, so that's pretty cool. Overhead cargo bed lighting is actually going to come standard, and then there is some LED bed lighting that is going to be optional if you wanted that. We also have that as well, so that is pretty darn cool. So then making our way up to the rear legroom, of course, is going to differ between the king cab and the crew cab. King cab comes in at 26.2 inches, so almost unusable. You might be able to put some small children back there, but that's actually less than my old Ford Mustang GT. Crew cab is going to come in then at 33.2 inches, which isn't horrible. So for reference, I'm even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had in our crew cab that we have today. And of course, when it comes to those rear seats, they are 60-40 split flip up bench seating, so they actually do fold up if you wanted to put your Mastiff back there or whatever else. It really doesn't matter. Rear center armrest with cup holders coming with the crew cab, so I can show that to you guys. And then there's also going to be a USB-A and USB-C charging port, and actually a 120 volt power outlet back there yet again. So that's pretty darn cool. And of course, if you go with the crew cab, not the King, but the crew cab, you will get a sliding rear window back there as well. But now, let's go ahead and make our way up to the front seats. Manually adjustable seating coming with the King cab. 6-way power driver's seat with 2-way power lumbar coming standard with the crew cab. Cloth seating is going to come standard. Leather seating is going to be optional for the crew cab. We don't have that with us today. But heated seats then are also going to be optional for the crew cab. But we do have that option. So that's pretty cool. But actually, overall, seat comfort hasn't been that bad. So I will say that. And perhaps that's because they are power adjustable, maybe. So I don't know. I just haven't had any issues with seat comfort so far. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the steering wheel. It is not telescoping. It is tilt. So I did want to emphasize that. But I will say for my 6-foot self, I was still able to find my perfect driving position, probably because of the power adjustable seats. But still, Nissan, if you're watching this, I would definitely recommend making this a telescoping steering wheel, because at some point, some 6'4", 6'7" adult is going to hop in this thing. They're going to have longer legs. They're going to have to put their seat back more, and they're probably going to want that steering wheel to telescope out a little bit further. I'm just saying. But anyways, leather wrapped for the crew cab. Heated is going to be optional for the crew cab. We do have that option. But then make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. All of your buttons are located on one side of the key. Got your Nissan logo at the top. The remote start, by the way, goes for $375, and then you got lock and unlock, but it is all keyless entry with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that black engine start button located just by the driver's right knee. And so once started up, tachometer is all the way to your left, speedometer is on your right. There is a relatively large digital display front and center to control what is on that digital display. There are steering wheel mounted controls found on the left side of the steering wheel, giving you things like a digital speedometer, how many miles you have left until you hit empty. There's your outside temperature, of course. There's actually some off-road statistics, which I thought was pretty cool. So it tells you what kind of elevation you're at and what kind of angle the front tires are turned at and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. When you need your next oil change, trip A, trip B, average MPGs, the list goes on. So pretty much everything you could possibly want of the digital portion of the gauges there. But then let's go ahead and make our way now to overall interior quality. There is a power moonroof available. It's going to be optional for the crew cab only. Home light controls are available for $110 if you wanted those. Dual zone climate control is going to come standard on the crew cab only, so both driver and passenger can set their own temperatures there. Wireless phone charger is going to be optional on the crew cab, and that more than likely is going to be located in front of the shifter, although in our case, we just have some rubberized storage, probably to put yourself in there still nonetheless, so that's pretty cool. But anyways, to the right of the shifter, you got a couple cup holders, more rubberized storage behind that. Within the center armrest, you actually have some little cutouts for pens and stuff, and actually a decent amount of storage in there, so didn't mind that. But overall, everything is finished pretty much on the basic side of things. It's to be expected. I do like this kind of rubberized storage, though, just above the infotainment screen up top here. That's pretty cool. I didn't expect to see that. There actually is an overhead sunglass holder up there as well, so it's very functional, I'll put it that way. But now let's go ahead and make our way to that infotainment screen I just mentioned. 8-inch color touchscreen display does come standard. Bluetooth and audio streaming as well. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Factory navigation system is going to be optional. And of course, you can check out your radio information up there as well. And so, when it comes to the sound system, 6 speakers is going to come standard, but there is a premium package that will give you a 10-speaker Fender sound system that we do not have with us here today. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out our 6-speaker sound system that we have with us here today. Don't you know we took a big step forward? All right, so little bit more bass than I expected. Clarity, it sounded like a 6-speaker sound system. I'll just put it that way. Not the best when it comes to clarity, but more bass than I expected. I'll put it that way. It's 6 speakers. If you wanted a better sound system, I like that Nissan allows that to be available with the Fender sound system. But anyways, last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the Frontier in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board, which is always going to lead us into safety. And so to start, front side curtain airbags do come standard. Driver and passenger knee airbags up front as well. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers to children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system. But then I did want to mention a package option called the technology package. It goes for $990. That is an option that gives you all the advanced safety, essentially, including lane departure warning, blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alert, a rear sonar system, rear automatic braking, high beam assist, and adaptive cruise control then as well. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts on the Frontier here, nice design. Like I said last year, I do like the redesign. It was well overdue for a redesign. It looks a heck of a lot better now. Love the steering feel. This is probably probably my favorite part, my most memorable part of the Frontier. It's such a heavy steering feel, which I personally prefer. So also brilliant braking for a truck. I'm just gonna say that usually when I ramble off the 60-0 numbers, if I say 115 feet, I'm usually driving a sports sedan or something like that. So to find that on a truck is pretty ridiculous. So big fan of the very firm braking feel that instantly brings you to a stop here. As far as constructive criticism goes, I'll give it two things. So telescoping steering wheel is definitely a necessity in my personal opinion. I think just most vehicles out there, if 99% of them have a telescoping steering wheel, unless it's like, I don't know, a budget car or something like that. So I definitely recommend that, especially with trucks, because a lot of times you're gonna have taller individuals that are gonna need that telescoping steering wheel. But also interior quality is definitely on the basic side of things. Wouldn't have minded if they made it, I don't know, just a little bit more special. So just around the shifter and the cup holders, for example, it's just kind of this matte black plastic. Even if they put a design to that and still kept it plastic, but just put a design, I think that would make so much of a difference in my personal opinion. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of the Frontier in the comments section below. And that is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching.